everybody, I'm Nicki Tedesco, and I'm a songwriter and bass player, and my goal in life is to inspire you to write songs and get the killerest bass tone of all killerest bass tones. In today's video, I'm going to be demoing for you a Waves plugin that just came out today called Kaleidoscope. It's a modulation effects suite, and it's got a bunch of cool stuff, and I want to show you how I use it and how I can foresee that I would use it. It's brand new to me as well, so I'm still figuring out all the cool little tweaks I can do, but I know right off the bat, because it's a modulation effects suite, that I'm definitely going to be using it for my bass for the post-punk tone. And I know you guys love my video on how to get post-punk tone, and now I have another way to achieve it by using Kaleidoscope. I'm also going to be demoing some stuff that you can do with the voice, which is super cool, and then there's other guitar effects that you can also do, but you'll have to get that and mess around with it yourself, because I'm going to be demoing the things that I know that right off the bat I'm going to be using. So let's check out what this looks like. Here we go. Ow! And I need to put on my specs so I can see what's happening here. Here's my bass track. I have amplitude because I just want to make sure that I have my normal bass tone. So that is turned on, full disclosure. But then, so that's my normal bass tone because I need to, you know, up my signal and do whatever I need to do just to get the bass to sound like I want. And now I'm using Kaleidoscope on top of that. You don't have to do this because it still sounds great. Anyway, this is what Kaleidoscope looks like. This is so cool looking. Okay, so I've already made a preset called Chorus Phase Steve Severin, who's one of my favorite bass players that has a killer post-punk tone. And I've tried for so long to copy it, and so I'm attempting to copy it again with this plugin. For this post-punk tone, I have already set up this tone for myself, but I want to show you some different things that you can do. So here we go. We got... It sounds like this. Right, you can hear that. So you can change these speeds. I was on half. Here's 144. Let's go a little more extreme. Right? So you want it to be fairly subtle, just enough that you sort of, you hear that something's different, but you're not sitting there going, oh, because it's wobbling back and forth. That's a little bit. I set it on 5. 3. 1. I mean, I'm reading what this says. It says half, but I mean, it probably means something else, something more technical that I'm not prepared to discuss at them. This is the setting that I've created to sound like Steve Severin for that post-punk tone. Okay, but there are some built-in tones that I want you to hear. Before I go into that, I'm going to show you guys how this works. There's this section, right, where you can pick the sine wave. There's different characters. You can sync it. There's also, like I'm on chorus, so I've got like my speed, my feedback. There's a mix, and then the depth, and then let's see, down here you've got the trigger section where you can trigger it by different functions. So like on the drop down, I've got the trigger off right now because I'm not actually triggering this at the moment. I'll explain that in a second. But you can do your normal type of triggering functions. You can do the simple retrigger or the one shot, and then once it hits whatever threshold that you set, then it will trigger this second effect to kick in depending on how you've set it, and it will kick in according to the mix that you set up right here. So depending on what you choose over here, it's gonna maybe all of a sudden mix in a flanger, or it can mix in all of a sudden a tremolo. And the way that I envisioned this when I was starting to understand the concept behind how it works, because it's not just a plugin, it's got functionality. It's not just, oh, it's a pedal, right? This is going to replace a few pedals. It's not like that at all, because it's not an automation, because automation, as you know, when you set it up in a track, then it's going to be automated at a certain point in time. But this is like automation that will happen when you hit a certain threshold. So let's say that I'm going to explain this because it's hard for me to demo because it's still new for me, and I'm figuring out how it's going to work for me in my scenarios. But like, imagine that you're singing and then you start singing louder and then this other effect kicks in. I'm a bass player, so I'm going to use it for bass for sure. I probably will use it for some acoustic guitar as well. But let's go through some of the built-in presets. Also, you can see, according to the speed that I have set up, you can see the frequency of how it's modulating. So I have triggering off right now, but let's go to one of these settings where the trigger is on. Okay, so now you can see that this is set up for re-trigger, right? Whoa. So once I hit a certain threshold, you can see like this will light up when you're doing the one effect. When you've triggered the other effect, like check it out. This effect is on. When I trigger the other effect, you'll start to see. So it's got like visual keys that you'll know that you've triggered the other effects. So let's say I'm just playing a little note. It's just got the flanger. And now I've hit it hard enough where it's triggering the other flanger on this side that's at a different setting, right? And together, they can do some crazy stuff. Let's do this. Let's turn it on my vocals and just mess around. Let me just close this. And I'm going to turn it on to my vocals. And I'm going to load the trigger experiment again. So, that's that. Okay. But now, when I saw the presets, I thought, oh, the doubler. Because who out there has recorded vocals, right, for your songs? Usually, whatever producer you have, they're going to have you lay down a second track of the same exact vocal line. No harmony. It's the same exact vocal line. Because you're human, right? And you're never going to do anything exactly the same again because you're not a robot, right? And so it has that unique difference. And those together are going to create a sense of modulation, basically, because there's a little something different between the two. That's how they have this set up here as a subtle doubler. I'll play the other doubler in a second. So when you use the double effect on a song, it's just to add a little bit of body. And so you're not looking to have the exact same vocal line, but you don't want it to be different. Your rhythm needs to be the same. You need to basically sing it exactly the same as much as a human can. But that natural little difference is going to create some body, right? And so this is a natural doubler, right? So now I don't have to lay down two vocals. I can just simply sing through this. Now this is a subtle doubler. Let's sing a song. What do we got? Let's try one of my songs. Why not? Self-promotion. Come on.
It's so pretty, you're frozen up the city. Do you think so? It's so pretty, you're frozen up the city. Do you think so? You were a ghost in the sun, and I could see you there, so bright in my eye. But I could see you shining, shining. I thought we're finally so near.
Okay, so now let's just turn it off.
It's so pretty, you're frozen up the city. Do you think so? It's so pretty, you're frozen of the city, do you think so? You were a ghost in the sun, and I could see you there, so bright in my eye, but I could see you shining, shining. I thought I'd arrived, we're finally so near.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do is do a side by side so you can hear the difference. So let's load the doubler. Like, this isn't the subtle doubler, this is the legit doubler, right? And I'm gonna turn on the effect, right? And so it adds body, right? Okay, so let's try the song again.
It's so pretty, you're frozen up the city, do you think so? It's so pretty, you're frozen up the city, do you think so? You were a ghost in the sun, and I could see you there, so bright in my eye, but I could see you shining, shining. I thought I'd arrived, we're finally so near, with no one else around, like heaven is one messed up ghost town.
And that song's off my new album called Heaven is a Ghost Town. Okay, so I had to show you guys that. Now this doubler is on. Let me turn it off so I can speak to you. Hello. Okay, it's off. It's on. It's on. Hey, hey, hey. Let's put on this other one. The subtle doubler. Hey. Off. Hey. On. Hey. So for me, like, the subtle doubler is probably better, because the doubler, as you could hear with the other track that I was singing, it got kind of intense at one point. So, you know, I might come in here and edit that preset a little bit and get it exactly the way that I want it. But maybe I do want, you know, for some songs, I might want a doubler that's, you know, fairly extreme or fairly strong. I wouldn't call it extreme, but it's strong. And so that's how I would use that. Okay, let's check out some other ones. Let's see what we got. We got a rubber guitar. That sounds interesting to me. Let's see what we got. Well, I'm coming back to you, disco to guitar. Here's disco guitar. Ooh, I can tell right now. It's got that, like, lo-fi. I'm going through a tiny little itty-bitty speaker. That's what this sounds like. And so that disco guitar with it. You know, the disco guitar. Do that. Let's see what we got. Rubber guitar. Rubber guitar. So this is gonna be very interesting, me trying to explain this to you and not laughing the whole time, because it's really funny. Let's see how it sounds on the bass. But I think it's also fun on vocals. I just have so much fun messing around with effects. Okay, let's try this. We're gonna now, on my bass, put rubber guitar on. I see! Whoa! I mean, Sound Effects City right here. Am I right? I don't even have to bend the string now. It bends it for me. Wow. Yeah, I mean, mess around with that, because you can find a use for that, at least to entertain yourself. But I don't want to minimize how powerful this plugin is, because I can tell there's so much you can do with it, and depending on what your needs are. And like a lot of the presets, I was looking at just the names, and I could tell, like, there's presets for guitar, there's presets for vocals. When I see the doubler, I know that's for vocals. There's presets for, like, there's drum trigger presets. So we'll listen to this one, trigger chorus drums. But of course, this is a bass, and I'm not recording bass. So it seems like it's an all-in-one modulation effects suite. As I've said, that is what it is. You can use it for every facet of the recording process. So it's multifunctional, is what I'm saying. But imagine that with a drum. Put it on my vocals just for fun. So let me pretend I'm a drum.
I will pretend I am a drum right now.
See, I'm singing one note.
And that's what it's doing.
This is so much fun.
I can't right now. This is too fun.
Okay, let me just turn this off so I can speak to you. Okay, this one's called Trigger Chorus Drums. Let's see what it does. Hey. Oh, wait, I have a track with... Hold on. I have a track with that are just drums. Now, I'm guessing, you know, if you're recording drums, you might put this, like, only on the kick, or you might put it on all the drums. I don't know yet. Let's find out. So I've got this song that starts with just drums. Let's hear it. And let's put Kaleidoscope on it. Here we go. We're going to, hold on a second. Let me open that. We're going to put Kaleidoscope right on there. We're going to turn it on. We're going to give it the trigger chorus drums and see what it does to my drums. Interesting. I'll tell you what, it sounds massive because here's the drums. Already that I need this for some industrial stuff. Okay, so that's that with drums. Let's go back to... We're back to my vocal track where I'm trying to demo some more stuff for you. Let me see. We got the trigger experiment. Shows how it triggers the second effect. Whoops. Hey, 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 hey. So you can see that I'm triggering now. Hey. And now I'm not triggering it. I'm only using this effect. But now I'm going to trigger it here. Hey! Hey! Okay, but maybe it's not obvious what that would be good for until I put it on a bass. Let's give it a try. So it's the trigger experiment. Let's see what happens. What else we got? We got Dynaflange. Let's check out some Dynaflange. Ooh, dynamic phaser. Ooh, I'm too excited right now. Dynaflange. Let's go for that. Let's see what that sounds like on the bass. I mean, that could work. I could tweak that a little bit to get a really good post-punk sound. I saw something else that looked interesting. The dynamic phaser. What's a dynamic phaser? I'm guessing it's the flanger and the phaser. In fact, it's the flanger and the phaser. Okay, and it looks like it's going to get triggered down here because I have my retrigger turned on. This is off, but it's going to retrigger. This first one's going to trigger this one. And like I said, when this one triggers that one, then it moves into this mix. This is how it's going to end up sounding, the two of them. Is it? Ooh, I got to really hit it hard. Let's make the threshold smaller. What else do we have? What else looks interesting? Mega flange. Ooh, a mega flange. Let's try the other mega flange. Mega flange 2, because 1 wasn't enough. Whoa! It's like filtered. It's like filtered in from a tiny little speaker. you know what I'm imagining? This would be like a cool intro, right? It'd be like you start with this intro, right? And it's like this not lo-fi, but like a tiny sound. It's a tiny sound. And then it's going to, all of a sudden, the filter comes in, and then the whole song just, bam, comes in. Here it comes. Right? Like that. That'd be cool. And plus, this is probably for guitar, I'm guessing. I believe that this was guitar inspired. The option of using a bunch of pedals, which is always our beginning option, but then you can't trigger things. You can automate some things. You can manually turn on and turn off some things. But this is like next level from the pedal board world. So this seems to be fairly guitar inspired, but then it's grown into something that you can use for recording, like I said, with the vocals and with the drums and everything. EVH style flanger. Mm-hmm. And so you guys can see how it's basically modulating in different ways and different speeds. It's very visual, and I like that. I'm going to go back to this because I just love that. First of all, I love that bass line. Okay, and then it also, when you sing it to the BPM, it's going to sing to the BPM of the song. This is what Kaleidoscope looks like. I mean, waves, first of all, I remember the first time I heard of waves. This is a long time ago. And I remember a friend that I used to collaborate and we would write songs together. He said, hey, I set up this whole computer situation. You got to come over and check it out. You know, and this is like, you know, this was like 4-track, 8-track, 16-track days. And he's like, I got everything. It's computerized now. It's digital, right? And so I went to check it out. And he goes, and I've got these plugins. I've got the Waves plugins. And he said it as though it was like this magical box of mystery. And it kind of was. And they were the only ones that had it. It was the only one that was out. I mean, they're the granddaddy of all plugins. They were on the forefront of plugins for sound, for recording, for digital recording. And they have continued through the years just making things better and better and making more. And I know there's all these other companies that come out with plugins and come out with this, oh, it's the hottest thing, and here's this plugin for this pedal. But Waves knows what they're doing. They smash it. You know, they come out and they just nail it. They kill it. And so whenever they come out with something new, I just have to drop what I'm doing and see what's going on because they've been around the plugin arena for years. They're not just new to the game. They are the original plugin company. It's kind of like, you know how there's like Scott towels, right? Our paper towels, but it's like Scott towels, even though that's just a brand. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Waves is to me. They're just like the plugin company. And so they know what they're doing. And so they're probably over there bored going, I'm not just going to do another reverb. I'm going to do a crazy reverb. You know what I mean? And so that's what they have with this modulation. They've got, okay, but we're going to have modulation that's got built-in triggering and, you know, to take the place of automation. And we're going to have every different modulator possible in the same place. And then it's going to trigger each other and then mix together. And this is phenomenal. This is so cool. And I'm just excited to try different things. And I hope that I was able to at least show you something about it, some way that I use it, and some way that, oh, hello, some way that it can be useful in my studio that I know I can use it today without fully, you know, understanding all of the ins and outs of what I can do. I can use it right now. In fact, I really want to use it on my live stream next week because I've been doing this I've been doing this post-punk series, and so I was doing like Susie and Sisters of Mercy, and I know I'm going to be pulling this in for my next live stream. So I know I can use this right away, especially also for recording. That I can use this. I can use the doubler effect, the subtle doubler. I think that's one of my favorites for vocals, and then the other modulation options that I can use for my bass for post-punk. And ooh, I'm excited to use this. So I hope that I've done this justice, even though I've literally only been playing with this for a very short period of time. And so you guys got to get your hands on this, check it out, and check out other Waves plugins, because like I said, they're like the original. They're OG in the world of plugins. So check them out for sure. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Check out this plugin. Check out my live streams every Saturday, and I will see you at my next video. Well, actually, you'll see me, but I'll pretend like I see you, and then it will be like we're both together.